Most wardrobes have a heat wave problem that nobody names directly, especially for women over 60 who have spent enough summers to know exactly what does not work and are still, somehow, surrounded by it. The closet is full, the options are technically there, and yet every morning when the temperature is already climbing before 8, the same pieces come out, the ones that seemed reasonable in the shop and feel wrong within the hour, while the things that actually work get passed over because they do not look immediately like the answer. These are the 7 pieces that survived that edit. And if you are a woman in your 60s who has quietly removed half a wardrobe over the years without being able to explain exactly why, most of this will already make sense. Elegant women who consistently look composed in summer heat are not shopping more carefully than anyone else. They are shopping less. They have already spent several seasons trying most of the wrong things. The linen blend that turns out to be 40% polyester, the jersey dress that looks fine until noon, the sandal that seemed right in the fitting room and becomes a problem by the second hour of wearing it. What is left in their closets is the result of a long, quiet edit. Not a seasonal refresh, an actual removal of everything that failed, until what remains is only what works. The first is wide-leg linen trousers, and the reason they stay isn't primarily aesthetic, though the aesthetic works. Linen is a cellulosic fiber structured differently from most summer fabrics at the fiber level. The flax plant produces a hollow core thread that, when woven loosely, creates a fabric that allows air to move through it rather than simply around it. These natural moisture-wicking properties are what make linen genuinely functional rather than merely fashionable. It absorbs moisture at up to 1/5 of its own weight, without feeling damp against the skin, wicks, dries quickly, and the cycle continues through the day. In practice, this means linen trousers feel noticeably cooler than fabrics that look lighter, including most synthetic blends and jersey knits. A mid-weight linen around 150 grams per square meter gives enough structure to hold the wide leg shape without adding heat. In pale tones, cream, sand, and the cleaner off-whites, linen also reflects rather than absorbs heat from sunlight. The wide leg adds to this by keeping the fabric off the leg entirely. There's air between the cloth and the skin, and in summer heat, that space is the whole point. Belgian linen and Irish linen are worth seeking out specifically. The longer flax fibers in these regional grades produce a weave with more consistent breathability than lower-grade alternatives. The second piece is a silk crepe blouse, and the distinction matters. Not silk satin, which clings as skin warms and develops a shine that reads heavy in summer light. Not silk charmeuse either, despite its softness. Silk crepe, the matte weave version, sometimes labeled crepe de chine, is built differently. The slight surface texture in the weave holds the fabric away from the body rather than against it, and this changes everything about how the blouse feels from mid-morning onward. As a protein fiber, silk supports genuine thermoregulation, temperature regulating in a way that synthetic alternatives can't replicate, responding to what the body is doing rather than working against it. A crepe blouse in a pale neutral, cut with a relaxed collar and a gentle drape, works across most occasions and asks very little in terms of styling. What gets removed in this part of the edit is every synthetic blouse that looked similar in the shop and didn't hold up by afternoon. A linen shirt dress performs a different function. It removes the decision point that causes the most trouble in summer, which is the waistband. In humidity, anything fitted at the hip eventually becomes uncomfortable, and the small, constant adjustments women make to compensate, such as tugging the hem, loosening a belt, and smoothing fabric that has shifted, are exactly what make an outfit look as though it stopped working an hour ago. The shirt dress removes the problem entirely. It's one piece, the silhouette is built into the cut rather than constructed at the body, and there's nothing to manage through the day. Worn with flat sandals and simple earrings, it covers more occasions than it initially looks like it should, which is part of why it survives the edit when more complicated alternatives don't. Tencel is the fabric most women walk past in a shop. and the reason is simply that it has no visual history attached to it. It doesn't announce itself the way linen or silk does. What it does in wear is absorb moisture at roughly 1.5 times the rate of cotton, then release it back into the air rather than holding it, and that's the detail that matters in heat. This active moisture wicking and thermoregulation cycle is what separates Tencel from fabrics that simply feel light at first and become progressively less comfortable through the afternoon. A Tencel meaty dress doesn't do that. It drapes cleanly, doesn't wrinkle dramatically when packed or sat in, and behaves more like silk than its price tends to suggest. The wardrobe edit that eventually brings Tencel in is usually a simple one. A cotton dress that worked in spring becomes unwearable by July, something replaces it that doesn't do that, and the cotton dress doesn't come back. The fifth piece is lightweight cotton voile, worn as a layer over the arms, a loose overshirt or an open blouse, and it's the one most women remove from consideration because it appears to add warmth. It doesn't. An open weave voile allows air to move through it freely while providing shade to the skin underneath, and shade is actually cooling. Women who look composed in sustained heat are often wearing more construction than the women who look uncomfortable, not less. The voile layer also handles the function of a cardigan, covering the arm, without the heat and weight that come with it. And in situations where a cardigan would be too much, this handles the same requirement without creating a new one. A leather slide or low kitten heel sandal stays because it resolves what closed shoes can't. Heat accumulates at the foot before it accumulates anywhere else on the body, and a closed shoe in summer affects how the entire outfit feels within a couple of hours. The slide removes this. The specific version that survives the edit has a leather upper, a clean, narrow strap, a straightforward sole, and no platform. It reads as elegant rather than casual, and this distinction matters more in practice than it sounds on paper. There are many sandals that don't cross that line. These do, and that's why they stay. The last piece is a raffia bag, or a bag in woven leather or natural seagrass. This is the basket bag that Jane Birkin made iconic, and it has not stopped working since. What a natural fiber bag does for a summer outfit is reduce visual weight at a moment when most outfits benefit from exactly that. It also reads as deliberately summer rather than accidentally underdressed, which are two things that look similar from a distance and feel entirely different. It is lighter to carry than a structured leather bag, which matters more in actual heat than it tends to sound like it should. What the edit produces over several seasons is a wardrobe that gets smaller each summer and works better for it. For women over 60, this is usually the point at which the wardrobe finally starts making sense. Fewer choices each morning, fewer things that begin the day one way and end it another. What remains has already been tested across enough warm days to have earned its place, and nothing has come along yet to replace it.